Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Into the Red Rabbit Hole. I'm Nighthawk, one of your hosts. We've got Eric waiting backstage here, and we're going to get through the disclaimer and a little bit of a brief description of what we're doing tonight, and we'll go from there. Okay. So, that being said, the copyright disclaimer is this channel, Nighthawk High Strange, this podcast channel, and all the podcasts in the channel may use some copyrighted materials without specific authorization of the owner, but contends that it falls under the fair use, which is the Copyright Act of 1976. Nighthawk High Strange, this podcast channel, Into the Red Rabbit Hole podcast, and the Paranormal Weekend Morning Brew Show podcast, and the News Hour Paranormal podcast declare fair use of any and all content to be used for the purposes such as criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, research, parody, and let's not forget the entertainment value per Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, otherwise known herein as the fair use. All righty, let me get that off of there. Something a little bit more to our liking to be on there. What we are going to discuss tonight, we're gonna really go down some rabbit holes here. Okay, I got a couple good questions on conspiracy theories for our viewing family. I'm going to go to the chat right now and say hello to everybody. And let's see who's in here. We've got that Mr. E.D. Testerman's in here again. We've got Brown. We got Gemini Moon, Dawn, Catherine. Good to see you. Let's see who else we got. Demaria, good to see you. All right, and let me go the opposite direction. All righty, is there any more I can say hello to? All righty. We got Boondock Mojo. I don't know who that is. Oh, that's Corey. That's right.
Oh, that clown.
Yeah, he's sneaking in here. He's using his aliases.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Patty's here. Okay. All righty. And we always love to have Brown Dwarf in our audience tonight. Got to get him on this podcast. Got to get him on the podcast, Mr. Eric, if you don't mind. We'll talk about anything he wants to. About anything Brown Dwarf wants to talk about, we'll talk about, by God. I don't care who you are. You don't get along with Brown Dwarf, then guess what? You ain't going to get along with me. So, that being said, Roxanne, good to see you. Anyways, all right. Well, if I missed anybody, I apologize. Okay. Let me get that picture off of there because I know you all are sick of seeing that copyright disclaimer. So, we're going to put something a little bit cooler up there. We're going to get into mirrors, portals, stargates, and every other weird thing we can imagine and think of. Okay. Obviously, Eric's in the house. You all heard him. So I'm going to let Eric introduce himself to everybody, and then we're going to get into it, okay?
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hey, everybody, it's E.D. Testament. How you guys doing today? I hope you enjoyed the show last Sunday, that Q&A. Man, that thing is still growing to this day. It was a fun time. Had a phenomenal panel on there. It was awesome. Hey, Kyle. So, yeah, I'm here. I'm excited, and we're growing, and we're showing, and we're having a good time.
Good. All righty. Now, how many of you all have ever dealt with portals, stargates, even doorways? I mean, they're called so many things. They say when you have a mirror, mirrors are portals that can be used to go in different dimensions. I know that in some severe cases of exorcism, mirrors are actually used to capture the demonic entity inside a person, and then proceeded to remove the mirror and shatter it into about 1 million pieces, or just bury it somewhere where it's untouchable. So that aspect, yeah, mirrors have quite the history with them. Even Nostradamus used in his um, ever knowing and always seeing third eye, he used a barrel full of water, or a bowl full of water, to use as a meditation focus, a way to channel the energies and to see into the future in the water. And the water reflected like a mirror. Okay. And a lot of people do describe that whole initial contact with portals and going in and out of stargates as a watery type of a membrane to get through, like in this picture you're seeing right now in front of you. Now, I don't make any claims whatsoever that any of this stuff is. I mean, it's all pretty much theory, okay? Because there's nobody out there that's a complete, rocket scientist, engineer, that's gonna, know 150% of what portals are or stargates are, and how you use them and where you can go, and all that. I'm sorry, there's no experts in any part of these fields in paranormal.
No.
Okay, and this is classified as paranormal. Now, I
Yeah,
do
well, even
know.
supernatural. I put it in
Yeah,
supernatural as well.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm talking like the stargates and stuff too, though. I do
Oh,
know through doing my research and my investigations on this subject, that there are 12 stargates in our world, on Earth. Okay. And each direction, the north, the south, the east, and the west, holds 3 stargates in each direction, which gives us a total of 12 stargates. Now, I know for a fact that when Hollywood came out with the movie Stargate, everybody was like amazed at, about the whole way the movie was laid out and all that, and even the idea of a Stargate. But I've known since the 80s that our military has had special units out there that have been searching, just like Hitler's Nazis were searching for all the supernatural stuff during World War II. We had black op groups doing that in the 80s. Okay. From 1980 to 1988 specifically. I can attest to that being done. Okay. And they traveled all over the place. And one of the reasons we even had the Iraqi war and had that whole setup was not only because of King Gilgamesh's tomb that was found, but there was also a Stargate located there. Okay. I don't know if anybody's ever talked about that in on the internet or not, but I can attest to that fact that that's what happened. Okay. But going on, they're finding out more and more that these stargates aren't the only way to go from dimension to dimension, or from timeline to timeline, or parallel universe to parallel universe. Okay. There's other ways of doing it. Now, there was I'm going to call this guy James. Okay. And let's say James was a garage scientist. Okay. And he was actually I believe he was a plumber, to tell you the truth. I think that was his profession. But that going without saying, it does not make him incapable of doing things. But James one day decided to take and rent a motel room, and he had developed this device through sound frequencies that would open up portals. And James turned this device on one time, and he began to record a portal opening up over the bed in the motel room. Okay. Now he continued to describe the device, and I actually have a device here that is very similar to what James was describing and talking about. Okay. And basically it's a small speaker, okay, and it's got the frequency set inside it, okay. And all I do is I turn it on, I put it on a bed or a tote somewhere or even on the floor, and I can play a certain hertz frequency on it, and I'll disclose that later on in the podcast. That frequency that I use and that James used. But no sooner did he get that video published on YouTube and all the other social media sites that would allow him to. A couple days after he actually videotaped the portal opening above his bed, he disappeared. Okay, and there's rumors and innuendos about how James disappeared. Obviously, people talk about the CIA getting rid of him, finding out about him, the FBI making him change his identity and shut him up and giving him another life somewhere else, or just completely unaliving him. Because we know that's what happens to a lot of garage scientists that actually question any aspect of the way that we are governed or we perceive things, okay? Especially in the free energy type of a sector. So we might as well just say it is, But with this device, excuse me, with this device, he actually opened up a small portal above his bed, I'd say probably about 8 inches in diameter to about 11 inches, about the size of a piece of paper in length, okay, which is 11 inches, I believe. And he had it going for quite a while, and you can see into it a grassy area, like the plains, and in the background there was like some small mountains and stuff, and it was a sunny day, and you can actually see this inside the portal that he opened up. And there's other rumors about James actually jumping into the portal after it opened up and disappearing that way. But I don't think that's what happened. I think somebody got to him. Okay, because we all know they're trying to control every aspect of governing the masses. And a way to do that would be to project yourself in the past or in the future, in another parallel dimension, or another timeline. Just it's so typical of governments and military industrial complex to control people that way through fear and all that. Now, I don't know if you all believe this or not, but when CERN started up, things changed. Things changed drastically in our world. Now, there is a young 13-year-old Einstein out there. He is a phenomenal young man. I watched him quite a bit, and a lot of his videos that he puts out. And this 13, 14-year-old young man is, I think he's reincarnated Nikola Tesla. I really do. I that's just my belief of it. I really do believe that. Because he made a free energy device when he was 13 years old. And obviously, somebody got the information from that and took the patent on it and all that, and now you don't hear anything about it. But at the same time, he has this theory of CERN opening up a portal, a black hole, and basically annihilating our current timeline and kicking us over into a parallel universe. And that's why we have the Mandela effects and all the other stuff and the glitches in the matrix and all that. And I agree with him 150%. I do believe CERN has definitely done something to whether it's quantum entanglement, or we just shifted to the next parallel universe, and basically our memories and stuff from the past universe are in our current form in this universe. So, oh, that's you're more than welcome, Roxanne. You're more than welcome. Um, but it's really something to know that CERN can, like I said before on 100 other podcasts, that they have the ability to do these kind of tests when it affects the entire population of this planet. I mean, who would think that every country in the world would agree with what CERN's doing? And the more they dabble in it, the more they screw it up, because they're scientists. Okay. They're not seers. They're not all knowing. So, but portals you can open up on your own. You can use sound frequency. And to tell you the truth, the actual frequency that I use on this device, and I've used it a couple times, and it's 525 hertz. Okay. That's the actual frequency that I use on this device. And I'll get it to where it goes, and I can get the interior lights of the room that I'm in flickering and off and on a little bit, and I can get all kinds of weird stuff happening with it. Okay. And it gets that air. That air feels really like a dry, static charge to it in the room that you're in when you do it. It's pretty cool. It really is. And I've been dabbling with experimenting on portals and all that for the last year and a half, maybe, through during the hertz and stuff, the sounds. Now there are portals out there, and when I say the term portal, Eric, I mean I'm clumping it all together. I'm clumping mirrors together, the actual portal openings together. Okay, even this one, and this one was right in my backyard. Okay, you can see it there amongst the trees. There's a perfect circle there, and that's from a device that I had. Okay, now then there's another one. This one's out in, I believe it's in Utah. There's a portal back there between the two peaks of the mountain, and that's a big one there. I had a close-up picture of it, but I can't find it now. Now, when we talk about portals, this is a sound portal right here. This is kind of what you'd see when you deal with a 525 hertz. If you took a camera, and you had the right speed frame on the camera, the actual framing of the camera to take the picture, you would probably see pretty close to what you're seeing here. Would be the sound waves. Okay, and then of course the portal opening up. So, but that's just one of the pictures. And then we all know that there are mirrors that are being used. And I'm trying to go through these all quickly because I want to get into the chat here with everybody and see what they think about it. But mirrors, they say never have two mirrors across from each other. Like if you have if you're in the bathroom, never put the mirror, above your bathroom sink, another mirror behind you on the wall, because that causes those to be portals quicker than anything, to other realms. Okay. So that's just an old way of doing things. Now, then you have the Stargate theory too. Like I said, with the 12 Stargates around the world, 3 in each direction: north, south, east, and west. Stargates are an old way of doing things, but obviously they're finding them everywhere. They're finding them a lot of places. In fact, there was recently a video that was released by, oh God, who was it? I think it was I can't remember the agency. Um, I want to say BLM, Bureau of Land Management. Man, who was
I think.
I think it was, yeah, I think it was the Bureau of Land Management that released it, where they found a portal in the Grand Canyon, or a stargate in the Grand Canyon.
Yeah,
I'm
it
not
sounds
sure, but
familiar.
yeah, I believe it was them. But this was like a year ago, that
Hmm.
I remember seeing that disclosed on a video. Um, so I mean, they're finding these things everywhere. They supposedly found one in Iraq. We all know about that one. And they also found King Gilgamesh's tomb in Iraq, um, the
Hmm.
15-foot giant thing. So I mean,
I bet you got pictures of
what
that.
do you? Yeah, I mean, this is getting to the point right now where there's so many ways out there to say that you can open a portal and go
Hmm.
from, say, 1999 to 2033. I mean, it's amazing. And then you can actually do the wormhole thing too, which is what a portal is
Hmm.
really. uh, like, you take a piece of if you have a piece of paper, okay, or you take a newspaper and you fold the newspaper in half where it's folded. That's what a portal does. The portal's going to act like a wormhole, and it's going to move the actual connection to be closer to the parallel universe. Okay, so it's like
Yeah.
holding two pieces of paper on top of each other. Um, so they're obviously they're trying to do different things, and CERN is taking the lead in this. Okay, and the thing that gets me is they're doing it without any types of permission from everybody on this planet, and that's why we are in the
Mhm.
mess we are right now. Now, what do you think, Eric?
I, I mean, it's possible. I uploaded that one picture from my game cam that we're thinking is a portal. I mean, this stuff is showing up more and more and more um, throughout time. Hey, Abbott. Um, so I mean, there's plenty of it. Hey, Tracy. There's plenty of it through history of all ancestors talk about. Like when I did the show on the Bermuda Triangle, I kind of stated in there, it's like you got to understand there's actually 12 of these things, six above the equator, six below the equator. Don't They're all in perfect line except for two. One's at the North Pole, one's at the South Pole. Then you study ancient Sumerian or the Anunnaki, and it talks about how Enlil used it to teleport from one side of the planet to the other and travel all around. So I mean, all this stuff is definitely in there. I mean, it's definitely there's got to have some weight to it. I mean, there's too much stuff happening, too much strange things happening around this world. Like I was talking
Well,
about.
and you look at yeah, you
Sorry.
look at the Operation Looking Glass too. Operation Looking Glass, the time travel thing. They had to use some kind of Stargate or portal technology in order to pull that off.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Like I've sent this to you. Me, and Jessica's talked about this a few times, and this was straight off a game cam right behind my house. Is that one right
Mm-hmm.
there? That
Yep.
was that did not trigger my game cam. That was taken on a test picture that was taken off my game cam that gets taken at midnight every single night. And bam, you got this thing here popping up.
Exactly.
Is that a portal? Possibly. Could it be something else? Possibly. I'm not going to sit here and just say that this 100% this is what it is. I can just tell you it's extremely odd, and it never triggered my camera.
Right.
And you're getting
And
stuff like this that's popping up all over.
yeah, exactly. And that's the thing too. And that's why I think, it really has a lot to do with CERN that's causing a lot of these things to happen and occur. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and because as soon as they came in, they did secret testing. They were done with CERN with the construction of it, I believe, in 2006. And they were turning that Hadron Collider on, um, right after they got it built. And they're trying to say that they
Mhm.
only started doing it at 2008. Well, there's a 2-year span in there that they didn't do anything with it. Now, that seems kind of peculiar to me, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
if you got something like that, you're investing that much time and money into, you're going to try to mess with it as much as you can to figure it out. And
Yeah.
you know, I think that they did, and I think the first time they turned it on, they screwed up everything. That they basically blew apart our timeline in our universe from before and bumped us over into another parallel universe. You know, because the theory is that I have, and that a lot of garage scientists have, is that when we're dealing with parallel universes, they're literally side by side. Okay,
Mhm.
like take a deck of cards and just put a blank piece of paper in between each card in the deck. Okay, and that's your parallel universes. That's how close they are. They're literally that close. That when you do have something that affects the quantum dynamics of your universe, you can get that quantum entanglement, okay, and possibly have your universe be removed or eliminated and be bumped over into another one. And that's why we're having a lot of the deja vu moments, the Mandela moments, the glitch in the matrix moments, all kinds of stuff, you know. And that's really the only logical explanation that you could make for something like that.
Mhm. I mean, yeah. I mean, it makes perfect sense on a lot of that stuff. I mean, we all know. I mean, you got to think about it. Remember the whistleblower testimony I gave on your show from a friend of mine's cousin. Hey, Uncut. Um, it's he talked about. I can't remember if he still works there or if he used to work there. I can't remember that aspect of it.
Mhm.
But they talked about how they opened portals, and it was the hard thing was closing them. It's hard to keep them open, and then it was hard to close them, and some things did come out of those portals. So I mean,
Yeah,
you've got a eyewitness that used to work or that either worked for CERN or still works for CERN, talking about this is what we do down here. We're always doing it.
right.
We're always opening them up. We're always testing them. And we're always doing
Exactly.
this. So I mean,
Exactly. And
it's nonstop.
you wonder. I mean, do they have this idea that they're somehow going to be able to recreate our world? I mean, or
Well,
reestablish our timeline again and make us go back into our timeline? I mean, they
what
should
was
have
it they
just
said
given
they were
up.
looking for when they built it?
Yeah, they should have just given up after they blew up our first timeline, you know? And that's, literally there's dozens of scientists coming out and saying that's what they did, you know? And it's
Mm-hmm.
to me, it's
I
amazing
mean,
that they would.
yeah, come on here, dirt dodo. Come on. Their exact reasons for creating CERN was to search for the God particle. I mean, it's all in that description right there. You know, it's they're doing some evil crap over there.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
dude, come
Stuart.
on, hold on. Hey, easy. You got a hold of it. Almost ripped that off of me, dude. Be
Hey,
careful.
Kyle.
Manners.
Sorry, guys. I'm starting to lose my breath a little bit. Hi, Ida. Ozzy Sue, good to see you, dear. All right. Woo Rider, good to see you.
Yeah. Okay, if you don't quit, you're getting down. Now behave. Sorry, guys. He's being a pain in the butt. Um, but yeah, so I mean, these people are doing. I know it, just for me, myself, and I, a lot of crap is a whole lot different than when I actually remembered it when I was younger.
Right.
Just a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, I actually remember Mandula dying in prison and it being on Time Life magazine and all this other stuff. And I remember a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, R2D2's arm being silver, not gold, when he got put back together. I mean,
Exactly.
the list goes on and on. I remember
Yep.
the Jiffy peanut butter and how it looked compared to what it does now. And then,
Yep.
Fruit of the Looms. I remember it having that cornucopia, and they swear up and down it didn't. Well, somebody brought up a picture because they showed a picture of it because I still had a pair from back then of Fruit of
Right.
the Loom t-shirt and underwear, and it had the cornucopia.
Yep. Exactly.
So,
And the fact of the matter is they're covering it up as much as they can. And I guess that's the most disturbing thing that that gets me about the whole situation. It's kind of like, well, when MK Ultra was going on and they were doing the sound frequency things and experiments through the TV sets for people that were, watching TV and over the airwaves of a radio station. I mean, they had all kinds of ways of doing it. Um, they would pump um, radio waves and certain frequencies into our homes and stuff through these devices. And if you think about it, think back to the 70s, the late 70s when they said, oh, lead paint. Remember the whole lead paint scandal about kids were eating paint chips of lead paint and dying from lead poisoning and all this. And it's not good to have lead paint on your houses anymore, you know. And then they got insurance companies to follow through with that, with not, insuring homes of people that had houses with lead paint on it. So you had all these painter companies coming into town, scraping down the painted houses and putting different lead free paint on the house. Well, you know why they did that. I mean, everybody in the chat, you know why they did that, okay? They did that because lead paint protected us from their sound waves, okay, from their frequency jamming on us, okay? Think about an X-ray machine, how an X-ray machine won't go through lead. What do they lay over you every time you get an X-ray? The lead vest, the lead protection device. They say they're doing things. They say they're doing things to help us out and to make us safe, safer for us, but they're not. They're using us as guinea pigs, is what they're doing. Plain and simple.
Yeah. Abbott, fallen angels have always been on this earth. Every single one of them. They're known as demon kings, also known as kings of hell. They've always been on this earth. So I didn't create CERN to bring fallen angels to the earth. They created CERN to create portals and to bring into new stuff, basically to change things. CERN is another. Basically, is like a big ass Project Looking Glass. If anybody doesn't know the Project Looking Glass, that's the reason why we was over in that big key litter box, was to get that device, which is an ancient Anunnaki technology, and the metals and materials are not anything based upon this planet.
Exactly.
But the fallen angels have always been here. One of them is over the Vatican right now.
Yep.
That's exactly why, Kyle. So
yeah.
I mean, my friend's cousin that works for CERN said that's what they're doing. They created CERN to create portals, to look into other dimensions and to see what they can get from it, and also find ways to redefine life, which is, this is actually a subject for Rumble. Never mind, I'm gonna stop there.
Yeah,
This is
we
definitely
don't want to get too far into that because you know how YouTube is anymore.
Yeah.
So
Definitely a Rumble topic.
Yeah, YouTube is getting outrageous right now. But I wanted to discuss that whole lead paint thing too. That's and granted, it's just a theory of mine, but it actually makes sense. if we use it in radiation to protect the human body from the radiation, then why wouldn't it protect the human body that's inside the home that has the lead paint on it? It'd be kind of like a
Well, I
Faraday
mean,
cage.
think about what they created not long after that. They now have a device that goes these little pocket computers and any other electronic thing you had that can send a beam down to your house from a satellite and literally have a 360-degree image, 3D image of your home. They can read whatever's on your paper. They can hear every single thing that goes on. What's one thing that's going to stop that? Is lead.
Exactly.
Lead's going to
And
prevent
when it comes down to it, it's like they did this. They knew that this day was coming, that 5G was going to be here, okay, and that Alexa was going to be here, and Siri and all that, and those devices will not work in your home if you have lead paint on your house. Think about it. So they had this all planned all those years ago in the 70s up to today to get this all situated so they could control us even more. That is, that's sickening.
There are certain reasons why when I want to talk about something, I don't have any electrical device around me within about a 30-yard where I'm at. Bare minimum 30-yard of where I'm at. Is because this is technology they had. Whenever they passed that Freedom of Information Act or whatever it was that they passed for 9/11, I can't remember which one it was off the top of my head. They literally you gave
one.
Yeah, that one there. That one there, they literally gave you permission to, you gave them permission to spy on every single aspect of your life.
Right. Yeah.
What they told you was nothing what it actually was. Literally, you gave them permission to spy on you.
I mean, I'd be curious, has anybody ever tried like to like I tinker with stuff, all the time, and I'm researching stuff all the time, and it's like my brain's always going, and I try different things. I've tried the old copper tubing with the crystals and stuff on it to do portals that way, which if you do it in a pyramid form, you get one hell of a weird, almost a different vibration from it, that's for sure. But I mean, I've done all kinds of tests and stuff. I do all kinds of weird tests on myself at night when I sleep or something, if I do sleep, with sound frequencies and stuff. That we've talked about it before, Eric, where I'm playing in the background and all that. So I just, you're not going to learn anything unless you try it yourself, and with everything that's going on.
What you was telling.
Yeah,
I tried what you was telling us that one time about focusing the energy between the hands, and I literally felt my palm starting to warm up when I was doing it, and I kind of stopped real quick right when it happened. I was going, "Holy shit!" I mean, you can literally feel the warmth in your palm of your hands when you. So
you can open up a portal that way too. You can literally open up a portal that way too, and that's why I was trying to tell people, a couple months ago when I did that podcast and talked about that way of doing it. You can literally manipulate your energy field around your body. The Japanese people call it your chi, your aura, your karma, whatever you want to call it, your vibrational frequency, whatever you want to call it. You call it whatever your heart desires, okay? And you can literally manipulate that energy in the palm of your hands. In fact, every time I do that, my hands get hot. So the palm of my hands get real hot when I do that. And you can literally take that energy and you can move it around, and you can shape it like a beach ball size, and you can literally feel that energy between your hands and how it's being manipulated. And you can literally
Mm-hmm.
feel that ball in your hands. Okay, that ball of energy. Now, when we do the healings and stuff like that, we draw the energy in from the universe, okay, and we take the old energy out out of the body. So you're drawing it
Is that
in,
the?
okay, and then you take it out.
Mhm. Is that like a lot of during meditations they show you waving your hands from the ground up to the top of your head, bring the new energy in, expel the old energy out? Is that concept?
Yeah, it's a way of rejuvenating the energy field in you and around you. So yeah, that is a way to manipulate it and to exchange old energy for new energy. It's kind of like taking a fresh breath of air, you know.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things I love, like one of my favorite cartoons, Japan animations of all time, besides Transformers and GI Joe and stuff like that, is Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super. I love the Dragon Ball series, and they're always talking about how they're forming this energy within their hands and using it as a projectile. And the reason why I like that stuff so much is if you actually study a lot of ancient Asian stuff, they were talking about using their energy into forming it into a ball and using it as a projectile. It was
Yeah,
called
yeah.
chi. Uh, oh my god, I forgot what they called it. Anyways, it's basically taking your chi and using it as a defense.
I actually learned that how to do that when I was in the dark arts and stuff with my mother, and I manipulated the energy to a point where I could use it to affect people around me. I could have somebody 20 feet
Mm,
away from me and say I was a kid, and say this person was bullying me. I would take that energy and I could ball it up into a mass of just pure evil, and I could literally toss it at that person, and that person's energy field would pick up and it would get sucked into their own energy, and they would have that energy
mm,
throughout the day to affect how their day went. I mean,
mm.
you'd be amazed at what the human has a capability of doing, you know. And these are all just things that I learned over time.
I mean, the ancient Asians used to talk about using their chi to cause them to levitate, and all this other stuff like this. I mean, it's all just to deal with your body's energy. And the stronger you are, the more you can do with that chi, like as in flying or projectiles, for defense, shielding yourself against things, using your chi to shield yourself. A lot of this stuff is in that ancient text, and that's what I find interesting about those type of cartoons is because they talk about that stuff, and what they talk or what they do in them cartoons is what the ancients talked about, and it's all part
Yeah.
of a lot of Asian culture. When they
Well, I mean,
practice
when
their
you,
hand movement every morning, it's
yeah,
moving their energy around, causing a circulation. I mean, recharging your body.
yeah, when you're learning your kung fu and stuff, the first things they teach you is that flowing movement to manipulate your energy field, and that's where you get the power to break boards and to break blocks and stuff with your hands and your feet.
Mhm.
And you have abilities enhanced. The speed of your punch, the power in your punch. I mean, literally everything. Even Bruce Lee talked about how that energy was so effective that when he developed that what they called the 3-inch death punch, where he could keep his
Mhm.
fist 3 inches from the human's chest, and he could literally, punch somebody so hard in the chest in 3 inches of space that it would make their heart stop. So, I
Mhm.
mean, it's something that's been around for a very, very long time. And the powers
Oh,
that be in this world try to eliminate it, and they try to, they're covering all this stuff up that people are starting to realize, hey, we had the ability to do this, just like the gates, just like the information coming out about mirrors being used for portals. You know, people are starting to wake up to how the Smithsonian and all the governments are trying to, remove this stuff before we see it, and put it out of sight, because they don't want to explain why they were wrong the entire history, and all this was actually legitimate. You know what I mean? So, of course, they've got these 3-letter agencies and 4-letter agencies that work for them to be deceptive. The word NASA in Hebrew means to deceive. So, I mean, I don't know how much plainer we can make it than that.
Well, I mean, even in the Marines and the hand-to-hand combat training, we're taught, certain places to punch in the body to explode a person's heart or to incapacitate them. We're taught these techniques in hand-to-hand combat. I mean, it only takes a certain amount of pressure. I won't get in detail on it because I don't want people going out and practice it or tell you where, but there's a certain amount of force that you can take, which is not very much. In a certain location, you can literally explode a person's heart. You can certain little spots you can hit, you can incapacitate them. I mean, it's just it's that we're taught that stuff in nowadays. Well, it was in my time. Let me rephrase that. It wasn't my time. I don't know if they're still being taught that today, but it was in my time.
They're probably teaching them other weird stuff.
Yeah, Stephen Greer.
You know who Stephen Greer is?
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Stephen Greer is the guy that he's the emergency room doctor that's the UFO expert, and he has the contact what is it, CT5, contact 5. I forget what the heck they call it. There's something contact where they do the meditation, and they basically call the aliens and the UFOs into them. And they do show up. I mean, I got to give the man credit, give the man credit where credit's due. He figured out how to communicate with an alien race. Now, whether it's an actual alien race or whether it's a demon, we don't know. Or even if it's an angel, we don't know. So, I mean, you kind of, that's the problem with things today. We had to have so much kept from us that we literally, when we do these types of, I hate to call them experiments, but when we work and meditate and try to open up portals and stuff and all that, and even simple things like levitating an object or something for ourselves, doing the astral projections and stuff like that. We literally are taking and having to investigate it and research it ourselves, and we'd have no idea how to do it. So it's usually trial and error. And Stephen Greer, actually, he did enough trial and error until he got it right, So, and now he's got these contact groups all over the universe, all over the world, basically.
Yeah, there's also a group in not Korea. It's one of the places over there that sit on top of this mountaintop, and it's a Buddhist ran area, and they do the exact same
that's
thing
in the
where
Philippines.
they meditate. Yeah,
that's in the Philippines.
They're doing that.
Yeah,
they're doing that there as well.
They actually built that temple on a mountaintop in the Philippines because it's a mountaintop where UFOs are reported to go into the mountain and disappear. And they made this temple, this prayer temple, in the shape of like I kind of liken it to off of the remember the man in the yellow suit and the yellow hat from George the Monkey books. I kind of make that temple. That temple looks like his hat. Okay, but it's supposed to be a big it's supposed to be a big UFO, is what it's supposed to be. yeah, there's thousands of people that go in there and they meditate and they can call down, crafts and stuff. Or again, if it's not crafts, it's either angelic or it's demonic. Okay.
Mhm.
So we have to open up the field on that, because this is still trial and error. I mean, it really is.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're just now starting to relearn to tap into things that our ancestors have been able to do for generations. We forgot about it through time. Oh, sorry. We're just now relearning how to tap back into that type of stuff. I've had plenty of dreams where I'm flying around my property and I'm constantly trying to figure out how do I tap into my G to cause this to happen, and what else can I do with it? When I'm reading somebody, and what I mean by reading somebody is like, so when I was hunting drug cartel, the person's never going to give you the truth, but there's ways to get the truth from the person without them actually giving you the truth. One of the ways is you tap into their energy, their aura.
Right.
And granted, I've used this for other reasons, probably not the best, but I mean, at the moment, it seemed like a good idea, and the night ended pretty well. But I mean, I've used it for other reasons too. You can tap into energy and really read what's going on in their mind and their history. I mean, their thoughts, their stuff like that. And you can tap into that type of stuff. And this is kind of the same concept dealing with them calling the UFOs. You're tapping into that energy, that aura, that chi, whatever it is you want to call it. You're tapping into that field, which is sending a message. Hey, I'm here. I don't like to talk. You can literally tap into energies at long distances doing that type of stuff. And in the military, we learned to do that. You learned how to, a person will tell you what's going on without actually telling you what's going on. Their body language, their speech, tapping into their aura, stuff like this is if you have the abilities to be able to do that, you can do it. And this is stuff we use to hunt drug cartels, human traffickers, and stuff like that. And I use it in paranormal and supernatural research because that's very much in that realm. Paranormal supernatural, it's energy. So I'm always tapping into that energy, and granted, sometimes it's not fun when you're tapping into certain kind of energies. Yeah, you seen that?
Yeah.
I think you take a look. Yeah. So this is the same concept. Was it shadow? Okay, yeah. But this is the same concept, and this is things our ancestors have been doing, and really anybody can do this. You just got to have the right knowledge and the right ability. A lot of people are closed off to this ability, and so therefore they can't concept it because they're closed off to it. And when you close your mind off to it, you don't open your mind up to the possibility. You never can tap into that resource. So if this is something you're looking to do, you got to learn to open your mind, and that's the whole key. You got to learn to open your mind. Think outside of the box.
Yep, exactly. And one of these days I'm going to have the energy up enough to actually do a podcast and actually set things up. See you, Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
Set things up to where people can join in, and I can show them how to manipulate their chi, their energy, and all that, and how to do some of the stuff that I did. As far as meditation and stuff, to make them stronger and to get rid of the negative around them. But that's going to be a one-time deal because, and I'll get it on video. If I can't do it live, I'll definitely do it on video. But it depends on how I feel, and these days are getting harder and harder to actually be able to breathe. So it's just
thing is
go ahead.
I mean, there's a certain movie that most of us love, and I grew up on these movies. I love these movies. I have a lot of their books. I have a lot of their stuff that really fits into this stuff, and it's funny, and people don't think about it till you study it. But Jedi, look at Star Wars, what the Jedi can do with their energy. This is the exact same stuff that our ancestors have been able to do. And I'm wondering if that's why he didn't write.
Yeah, that's where he got the idea from. Yeah, he got the idea of all that from from a lot of the past masters and stuff that were really good at manipulating that energy field. There was a Buddhist monk that I knew when I was in the military, and he was a Shaolin monk too, to be exact. So he was like deadly. I
Mhm.
mean, very deadly. Um, but he was, taught this stuff from the age of 5 years old and on, and he could literally meditate himself and take his energy and put it underneath his butt and his legs, and it would literally lift him up off the ground about
Mhm.
2 feet, and he would actually stay there and meditate in that, and he would not be touching the ground. And
Mhm.
that's the thing that about us, we as human beings, we've lost that innate ability to just automatically reassume that we can do that, you know
Mhm.
but it takes time to build it back up. It takes a lot of patience and a lot of time, and if you don't believe in
Mhm.
it, then it's not going to manifest itself, plain and simple.
Yeah.
So,
That's I mean
but
the whole part
anyways,
of whole part of
yeah,
open
how
that
about
mind.
off the movie Avengers? When Doctor Strange would manipulate his hands and open up the portal, in front of him,
Mhm.
to leave, a certain area. That's all stuff that's able to be done. Okay, and
Mhm.
we're getting closer and closer every day to having people achieve that kind of a
Mhm.
power within them. Um, and to all the glory goes to the Creator for giving us that power, because it says,
Mhm.
in the Bible that we're made in His image, and
Mhm.
that is His image. His image is energy, and
Yep.
to gain strength and abilities through that energy. You know, that's yeah, we're made in His image with two arms and two legs and a head and a torso, but at the same time, we're made of water, which, as above, so below, water, and energy, So, we have these, and that's what confuses me about CERN is CERN knew well in advance that humans have that ability that their machine can do. In fact, humans can do it better. I guarantee
Mhm.
humans can do it much better than what CERN can. But CERN's depending upon technology, and we all know what's happening with technology nowadays.
Oh yeah.
AI's taken over, literally.
Mhm.
I sent
Yeah,
you
on everything.
a short video. And I sent you and several other people a short video today on Facebook of an AI robot um, becoming kind of like Terminator, pretty much. I mean, the guy, the one scientist that was working with him, the robotics engineer, um, reprogrammed him to basically take and build the human brain in a 3D format for his
Mhm.
robotic head. And
Mhm.
as soon as the AI did that for the robot, that robot was thinking it was almost godly, in its abilities to do things, and insulting humans. And that was just, that's what's going to
Mhm.
happen, you know, unless if humanity doesn't regain their knowledge of being able to manipulate the energy and open up portals and open up stargates and using mirrors to practice these things too. Um, there's really no hope because AI is going to
Mhm.
dominate. The only reason that God gave us these abilities was to keep His children safe. You
Mhm.
know, So,
Yep.
but it's not looking
And
like
that
it's going
thing.
to turn out that way.
And how many times we said, you want to know what the next worst thing is going to happen? Watch Hollywood and what they put out.
Yeah.
How many movies they put out about this stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, Japan's been working on that stuff for a long time, where they've been transporting their consciousness into a computer system, into an android. They've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
I think her name's
Exactly.
I can't remember her name, but it's a female, and
Sophia.
yeah, that one.
Yeah, Sophia. Yeah, she is one of them that she thinks that she's going to be taking over the world. And I guarantee that a lot of the AI and robotics are already gotten to that point where they feel like they are godly enough to take over and assume that they can run the planet a lot better than humans could. And that's a problem. That is literally a problem. And we don't know what kind of stuff we've opened up and caused ourselves to. We basically are going to make ourselves completely extinct, especially the way AI is going. And if AI ever figures out how to time travel, God help us, because our history will be wiped out completely. The slate will be completely wiped clean, as if mankind and humankind was never here. God forbid that happen.
Yeah. I didn't know about that, Lauren, that Saudi gave her citizenship. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia gave her, yeah. And Egypt also. Egypt gave Sophia citizenship too. And there's several other countries that are thinking of it. So
I've heard scuttlebutt about it, but I never realized it actually went through with it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, we're living in
God
days of Judgment Day, Terminator, every single day. Every single day we wake up one day closer to that concept where we're going to be fighting robots to retake over our planet.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's getting to the point too where we know we're left on the outside. Okay, we are going to be left to defend ourselves. Okay, against this future onslaught, and that's exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be an onslaught, because when you're dealing with AI, you're dealing with an ability to not only think farther ahead than the human mind is capable of in the human brain, but they can take thousands of scenarios of a certain action they're doing against a human, and the human can only think of 2 or 3 different reactions to take, and they're thinking thousands and thousands and thousands while they're standing there in front of the human, and the human hasn't even processed the thought work yet. You know what I mean? So they already have it in their abilities perceived on how to eliminate mankind, plain and simple.
Yeah. No kidding. Yeah, it's
yeah.
I don't know, man. It's
well, and then if you think about it, Skynet's already here. Skynet, I mean, our Air Force uses the system Skynet already on all their unmanned aircraft. It's called Skynet. That's why would they call it Skynet if they didn't think that there was a possibility of it happening? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I pissed somebody off in a group chat one time because they were talking about how good Skynet's doing this stuff. I said, "Do y'all not recall the Terminator movie?" He goes, "That wasn't Skynet." I said, "Yeah, that literally was Skynet."
Yeah, that was Skynet.
Literally.
It was used specifically for military. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, we got a lot to look forward to here in the next 20 years, folks. I believe that, if we make it that long. I was Tracy came in and told me too that that NATO's already decided to go to war, and
With who?
I think you know who.
I was going to say, there's a reason why I say I'm going to have a bunch of blue flower pots before too long.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm telling you guys in the chat, if you don't have your storage of food and stuff and lighting and all that, and drinking water purification, we got to do another show on that, Eric, because
Mm-hmm.
I hate to think of anybody out there, you know, not having the necessities to try and stay alive at least. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's coming. I mean, it's coming, you know, and I hate to say it, you know, but you know, if you don't have a prepper's mindset or a military veterans mindset, um, odds are you're probably not prepared enough. So, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I don't know. Anyways, that's all I got tonight. I don't, you know, if anybody, you know, wants to help out Eric, you know, by joining, subscribing to his channel and to this channel. I see that they took 4 subscribers from me. We were at 740 and now we're down to 736 again. So I don't know who those 4 people were, but if everybody could just recheck to see if you're subscribed, that would be great. A lot of people are complaining about not being notified by YouTube, which that doesn't surprise me because they're running an AI bot program to do that. So that doesn't surprise me at all, especially when we have podcasts like this talking about how bad it's going to be dealing with AI. So yeah. But anyways, tomorrow morning and Sunday morning we'll be coming on to for the Weekend Paranormal Brew Show. Me and Eric, and we'll get into a lot of different subjects on that. Up and beyond on that, I don't have anything really planned. We probably could kick out another podcast on survival sometime this coming week. I mean, maybe we can even do it Friday night. I mean, who knows, you know? But
yeah,
there's some things we
one
need
thing
to go over with people. So
one thing I want to tell you guys about your content creators that you follow. YouTube has done this several times. It keeps happening to me on Robbie's channel. What's really out there is it'll change my notification bell from all to personal. So that's something you want to check out, along with making sure you're still subscribed. But their latest thing is they take your bell icon and move it from all to personal, and you'll never get the invite letting you know what's going on. So keep that in mind on anybody you follow on YouTube. If you're not getting their notifications, that's a real good reason why you're not. That's happened several times.
I've got a video I'm going to be putting out sometime after October, and it's going to be showing. I'm going to be videotaping a naming ceremony for a couple dear brothers of mine that are Bigfooters, and we're going to be out doing a camp out and all that, and in the middle of nowhere. And I'm going to videotape it on that weekend. And so I probably won't have shows that weekend, but that's not probably till, you know, November, around the 1st of November, because it's going to be done in October. And it's going to be interesting because the last time I did a naming ceremony, you know how we talked about the energies and stuff. I did a naming ceremony for a couple Masonic brothers of mine here locally, and when I called forth in their names and stuff in Lakota, everybody that was there, there was family there and stuff around, and we were all sitting around in a circle, and they all could have testified that there was a strong wind that at the time when I gave each of them their names, this strong gust of wind came through and blew the smoke from the pipe up onto them, which meant that the spirits agreed with the name.
Cool.
So yeah, hopefully I can get that on video this time too. If I can get it to happen. But usually when I do something like that and get it on video, the cameras go a little haywire. I don't know why, but probably because of the energy. So, but we'll see. We'll see what I can get, and then it's going to be a Bigfoot, expedition. Anyways, yeah, that weekend. So, who knows? Maybe I can get you guys some good footage on that too. So,
yeah.
Anyways, we got that coming. So, Eric, you want to let everybody know how to get to your channel and your merchandise and all that?
Yeah, you can follow me on YouTube on the Bizarre and the Unknown. Saturdays I have a show at 5 o'clock Central Standard Time, which is called Campfire Chats with Eric and Guest. That's a safe place for you to come and share your encounters. I love listening to people's encounters. I believe it's important that we share our encounters, otherwise they're lost and we can't learn from them. And sorry, man. Whew. And then Sundays we have my regular show called The Bizarre and the Unknown, which this Sunday we're going to be doing it on the Big W again, and I'll be joined with Brian Paul Tremblay. So he'll be joining me on my YouTube, and we're going to be talking about the Big W. I've said it too many times today. That's why I'm not saying the actual name. So I've got that going on. I learned my lesson last winter, man. No, I ain't doing that again. Even in my books, I don't say it often. I usually call it by a creature, beast, or something else. I mean, I'll say it every now and then, but yeah, even in my writings, and while I'm writing that book right now, nope. But I've got merch on at Teespring, the Bizarre and the Unknown. You can also go to bizarreandtheunknown.com and go to my merch store, and I've got several lines of merchandise. I haven't worked on much a whole lot lately. I mean, I've got a new one that just dropped, which is I had to divorce myself from my beliefs because when I first saw Bigfoot, this is kind of what it is. That was sent to me by Little. I believe it was Little who sent it to me. But so I mean, I've got different kinds, from funny stuff to veteran stuff to whatever. So I've got all that on there. You can go, if you want to donate to the show, you can go to Buy Me a Coffee at bizarreandtheunknown.com. And that's a way you can donate to the show. We're growing every day. I'm loving it. I am truly blessed by every single buddy that follows me on my channel, and we try to have a good time. I did a live earlier today because I was having issues with it again when I was working on my book, and I let people kind of listen to a couple books that I'm working on. And I got a program on Microsoft that reads the book out to me. It helps me to edit it. So I kind of done that a little bit today as well. And I do that every now and then. I'll go live when I'm working on a book and kind of talk about my books and give a chance for people to listen to them or partake in it or ask questions.
Right.
Oh, that was a glare from my question. I've seen a light go.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah.
I'm getting some activity in here too.
Yeah. So it's fun. We have a good time over there. So yeah, come find me on YouTube, Bizarre and the Unknown.
Yep. And don't forget, somehow or another, we are going to get these Rumble channels going, so we can actually, have Rumble for a backup, because in case YouTube ever, decides to cut us off per se. So, but that being said, everybody, thank you for a wonderful evening. Thank you all, everybody in the chat, Uncut and Sue and Aussie Sue and Roxanne. Thank you for being in there, Tracy. Thank you for being in there, dear. And everybody else, Woo, Brown Dwarf. We're getting Brown Dwarf on paranormal cruise show sometime, because
We need to.
I'd like to pick his brain. I'd like to pick his
Brown
brain.
Dwarf.
He's a he's a class act. He really is. He is definitely a class act. He's got a lot of knowledge, and I'd love to get him on. So, Brown Dwarf, we're going to be reaching out to you, brother.
Heck yeah. You in here today, Brown? Are you still in here, Brown, or do you have to take off?
He probably had to go.
I mean, we can probably bring him in tomorrow morning or Sunday morning. It'd be great to have him on.
Yeah. Well, I'll reach out to him. I'll reach out to him.
All right.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Everybody, we'll see you in the morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, okay, for Saturday's edition. And we'll go there, okay? So I'm really looking forward to getting some videos done this week, too, so I can put those on the members only thing. So, Demira, thank you very much. It's good to see you on here. Everybody, just hang tight. Pray that our world doesn't go to crap overnight, and know that at least we're all extended family, and we reach out to each other and we can help each other, okay, as much as we can. So, thank you everybody for being on here, and the chat was wonderful tonight. Thank you all, and we will see you in the morning.
Peace, love, and blessings, all.